Well, hello there, brothers and sisters of WoT Blitz universe. You're watching WoT Blitz Addict again. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're gonna review this Somua SM Grenadier. And as you can see, I just want to show you how much crates did it take me to get the tank. Actually, I got it in the 5th crate, but to be honest, it still cost me 20k gold. If you're wondering if it's worth getting it, the answer is no. Not in crates and not for this amount of gold. But you can check the camo and those PBR textures, they are just so fine. You can see those chains in front of the tank. In old textures they will disappear. In the new ones they are really 3D. Same as the equipment on the side of the tank. If you make it flat on the old textures, they disappeared. They were flat. But on those they will look really good. Now, same as the details on the tank, the reflections and the camo. Camo is really beautiful, but not really worth 2k gold. And now let's talk how I equip my tank. So consumables, standard multi-purpose restoration pack, repair kit, and engine power boost, because it's a clipper, you can't use adrenaline on this tank. Coffee and croissant, protective kit, and improved fuel. As for ammo loadout, I'm using 36 AP rounds, 15 APCR rounds, and 9 HE rounds, but you have to remember it's a clipper, so you need to set those divided by 3. As for equipment, I'm using calibrated shells because it really boosts penetration, and chain gun length drive and refined gun. Also defense system, improved assembly and toolbox. For the rest, improved optics, improved control, but I will switch it to engine accelerator because the tank is kind of sluggish and it's probably gonna fit me more. And the last one is consumable delivery system. I use this because you can't use adrenaline and this is more reliable. As it comes for armor profile, you can see the AMX 5100, which is the Tech Tree counterpart for the Somua. And it's literally paper. And here's the Somua, and even on flat terrain you can see the front plate is really thick. Also the turret is kind of trollish, it's not impervious, but if you go hold down, as you can see, MX has good pan, so it still can pan. The most tanks can pan, but it's trollish. If you move back and forth, if you just wiggle your turret and you angle the tank, it's really hard to chew through that turret. Even with calibrated shells and APCR, you can see still the front plate is impenetrable. And you have 10 degrees of gun depression, which allows you to use the terrain on your advantage more than AMX 5100, sorry, and you can side scrape. That's a great thing. Look at this. If you use your full degrees of gun depression and you side scraping on the hill, your really weak spot are the bottom plate and the cupola on the roof of the tank, and of course the sides of the near the gun mantlet. But still, believe me, this tank can bounce a lot of shells and it's really trollish. So try to angle it and really you will bounce a lot of shells. You can just side scrape, try to bait the enemy to shoot you in the side, he will bounce, and then you can unleash the 900 damage clip. And now let's move on and look how this tank performs in the battle. First game is actually an ace tanker, which I got today. That's why I decided to make a review, because you like to see some good games, and this one was quite good. As you can see, we are going against tier 9s in this battle. But the map is really good. Honestly, the other side would be better for me, but still on this side you can do really good things. I want to tell you about some downsides of the tank. The one downside is the long aiming time, really not great dispersion which you had on the AMX, which makes the AMX better tank in this manner. Also, you have a longer reload clip reload. It's over 20 seconds, like it's almost 22 seconds. That means you have way less DPM than the actual MX 5100. Also, the tank is less mobile. The tank doesn't have that much influence on the battlefield, because if you can't move fast enough. Even if you can, you could see in the beginning of this battle, I took this position and I was still waiting for my tank to reload. The reload time is just terrible, and that's what makes this tank kind of balanced, I guess, because you can't really say that this tank is OP. That's why I tell you that it's not worth getting it for this amount of gold, because there's no I mean, if you drop, I think 22,500 gold, you will get this tank guarantee. But you need to remember, it's a tier 8 premium tank. It's not tier 10, and you're gonna pay more than, honestly, than for a tier tank. You have Badger right now, we have Badger in store for 17.5k gold. And it's a tier tank, buffed British tank destroyer, which is really, really good right now. And I would go for that, honestly, especially if you are a free-to-play player and you collected all this gold for such a long time. I wouldn't go for crates. I would go for the Badger instead, and this tank will come out in normal sale in time. Probably the around 10k mark for the beginning, for the first time when it's gonna get into the store for like no crates, just typical offer. But it's, in my opinion, it's worth 8.5 if you really wanted 10k gold, but not more. Honestly, it's not that great. Of course, you can perform really well, and you probably seen the Droodles video, and also I think Mitzi made a video on this tank, and yeah, it can perform really, really well. Pantuf also made a video on this tank when he said that this tank is OP. I wouldn't say that. I mean, it can bounce. You will see in this game, it can bounce a lot. We will bounce, especially medium tanks. Pantera will bounce me 2 times in a row in the flat terrain when I pushed him. But that's good. That's great, but not for that amount of gold. Also, what you can expect from this tank. You should follow your team. You should never go alone. You will see in the second battle, which was so mad battle, one of the most incredible battles I ever seen and had, and you will see why in a moment. But I went there alone, and even though I was risking, I performed well in this scenario. But if you get pushed by tanks with, oh, here's the moment when you're gonna see the bounces. He bounced the front plate twice, so that's how it works and how strong it is. But if you get pushed like in a scenario like this, I can't do nothing. He literally can eat me alive because he has auto reloading gun. I have auto loading gun. That's why I need to wait all this time when he can just load one more shell, finish me off, and that's it. Fortunately for me, I was able to kind of he wasn't that spectacular player, because if I were him, I would just push this tank. Maybe he didn't know that this tank is an autoloader. I don't know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but that gave us another kill and an ace tanker with almost 1.7 base XP, 1.7k. It was 1670 or 37, something like that. So yeah, that's how much you need to get an ace tanker. In this game, that's the funniest game I have ever seen and I ever had. And I was telling you about this game, you'll see why. So first of all, check the upper bar with this comment bar, where you're gonna see in chat what's going on. As you can see, all my tanks are in spawn. Medium, I mean the Comet went on the TD spot, also the Helsing went there. I don't know what the rest of the team is doing, but that's good for me. That's good for me for the moment, because as you can see, we are the only one here. I decided to wait here to spot someone, so if they push me, I have a chance to bounce some shells. But here's the thing, look at the chat. Look at the chat, and you will know what I decided to do. Yeah, all in spawn. Okay, that means I can push forward and spot some targets in front of me. because I can see my team decides to move finally. And here they are, just look at this, T2020 sitting on the ridge, also Super P sitting on the ridge. And now my team is just basically ripping them apart thanks to my spot. That means I'm getting assistant damage as well as my clip damage. And now I need to sit here, basically I can make a T before my clip reloads. And this guy in the defender was kind of a pain for me. Because of course he has longer reload, but and clip reload overall, but he has 400 alpha, and I don't want to lose 1.2k just by just poking out on this guy. So we need to just use our tank to deal some damage here. We're gonna take a shot, and now I think he didn't know if I'm reloaded or not. I think he knew I wasn't, because he pushed me and shoot me again. But now he doesn't know how long I will reload, and I'm not sure if he had the third shell, or he was reloading. But I assume he was reloading because he bugged up, and that opens the whole game for me for now. Because here we have the ISU that unfortunately bounced, hit the tracks, and did 0 damage. That's unfortunate because I'm losing a lot of DPM. You have to remember that every shot counts in this tank, because you have such a long reload time that if you miss one shell, you cut your DPM by 1/3. That's a lot. This tank has 1.8k DPM, as I remember correctly, but it's still less than 2k DPM. That's really not that much. On tier 8 especially, all of the tanks have basically more DPM than this. But you have armor instead, so that's a trade-off between having an armor and have a good gun depression, instead of being more mobile, having more DPM, having more accurate gun, and less gun depression. But I think if I would say for the new players, this tank will be better because of the armor. But for more experienced players, I can tell you, you will enjoy MX 5100 more, because it's way more mobile tank. It has way better gun, the aiming time is better, the DPM is better, everything is better on MX. And that's great, because that means that Wargaming finally decided to balance the premium tanks. And I'm really grateful for that, because broken tanks like the Smasher and Annihilator, they ruined basically the tier 7, but they decided it's a tier 7, they can ruin whatever they want. But if you put overpowered tanks like the Smasher in tier 8, it's still great on tier 8, I'm not gonna lie. But if you, let's say, compare this tank to the Shark, the T5042, I would say that Shark would eat this tank alive, eat Somua alive in 1 versus 1 battle. Sorry, you don't stand any chance against the Shark in 1v1, and that's how the tank performs, that's how it looks, that's how it drives. And that's basically all for this episode, boys and girls. Hope you enjoyed it, thanks for watching. If you like my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to join my Discord, the link is in the description below. Take care, bye bye, and catch you all on the battlefield.